It's the most one-eyed podcast.
It's what we're here to do. There is only one side in this competition. It's game-changing.
It's absolutely game-changing, Deeble.
Riddle me that,
Yeah,
mate.
riddle me that, Deeble. Do you remember?
It's what we're here to
This is True Bloods, the number one independent Sydney Swans fan podcast in the home studio today. Hey, perfect, fitting for this round. To review the massive win against Carlton, preview our massive fight against the Dees, and also to talk to Canberra's finest Swans legend, Cynthia Hamilton. I am, as always, joined by the man who I actually got to see in person, who got to experience the Henson Park W goodness for the first time. It is Alex Donnelly. Alex, how's it going?
Oh, I think I've just recovered from the day. It was a very, very long day for me on Sunday,
Yes.
but you know what? It was worth it because there was dubs in the chat, there was highlights galore, there was a potential goal of the year, and we saw a point of the year as well. And we smashed Carlton for not the first time this week, but probably going to be the second time this week. I'm getting ahead of myself because it's a Tuesday night, but life is good.
And probably the third time this year as well.
Oh, yeah. And our best player probably should have kicked 7 goals.
Probably, yeah. But we'll get into it. It was so nice having you up in Sydney. We got to watch the game together. I think we just talk about that for a bit at the start because, yeah, it was your first time getting to experience Henson Park. Not on the field, I would say.
Yes.
And we were there with Saunder and Jess and a few of the other faithful came and said hello. It was absolutely delightful from that perspective. The weather was truly bizarre.
Yep, that's a way of putting it.
Yeah, it was very Melbourne-esque in that we definitely had 4 seasons in one game. But yeah, let's just talk about how you found it, because you've obviously been to a million W games at this point, but that was your first time at Henson Park, and we do it best. So
Yeah.
explain exactly how much better it is.
Oh, it's phenomenal because there was a video that I took just right before halftime on the hill and just overlooking the hill, and there's just a sea of people. There's picnic rugs. You've got everything set up out the back with all the food stalls and drink stalls and all that. And it's just everyone's there having a good time, and it's sort of results really don't matter there,
Yeah.
which sounds really weird. Obviously, the diehards like yourself and me, like if we lost, we would have had the shits, of course. But
Yeah.
everyone was there having a good time. And the biggest thing that I saw is it wasn't just families and young kids. There was groups of dudes, who were between 16 and
20s.
25,
Yeah.
like just walking through. There was groups of girls. Obviously, there was footy clubs that were all there together. There was obviously a lot of the people in the LGBTQIA plus community. God, I hope I've nailed that. If I haven't, I'm sorry, I've missed a letter. But everyone was all like there. Everyone was happy. We were celebrating what was a fantastic, not a cause, but just celebrating Pride itself. Everyone
Yeah.
was happy. There was face painting. There was good food. And then the footy started as well. Like once you walk in, it's like, oh yeah, like I said to you before as well at the pub, I've never seen a pub this busy before a W game. And I've been to a lot of games of footy in and around pubs in Victoria. No one packs out a pub. Shout out to Montana Ham's mum, bumped into her again. I need to learn your first name, Mrs. Ham.
Big mum guy.
Big mum guy. Holly Cooper's dad as well. And Mrs. Scotty
Big parent
Ghostwans.
guy.
Yeah, as well. So yeah, met the parents, met the wife of Scotty Ghostwans. So that was very lovely. But yeah, Henson Park, they just do it different, and it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the competition can learn from Sydney. Like, don't say, oh, we had a meeting and it's going to do this and that. I think you need to see, and I think you need to make it an event. Yes, the footy's there, but put on the food stalls, put on the activations, put on things, and don't say, oh, it's a family day, bring your kids. Like, no, like, come have 4 or 5 beers, come have some gosler, mate. Like, have a good time.
Yeah.
It's over until the game started at 1:05. We're at the pub by 3:30.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good day out. It doesn't take much. It's $15. And for mine,
For yours.
first time back at Henson Park in 7 years since I played footy there. So I knew, like, I got off the train and I knew exactly where to walk. It was like going back somewhere. It was comforting. It was nice. And just to see so many people there watching women's footy was so much fun. And that's the biggest thing I want to sort of take out of it, was the fun and the enjoyment that I had. and that I will be coming back next year, obviously, because I
Of
just had
course.
so much fun. It was
Yeah.
it was an enjoyable day. A bit of shade wouldn't go astray, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that was probably the funniest part because I took you to where we normally sit, which I think is a good spot.
Great spot.
I've sat in a few different spots. That's my favorite. On that wall, so when there is a goal, you can jump up and celebrate, and you're not going to be in anyone's way.
Yep.
And you're like right in the middle. But there is one tree that shades, and when we got there at about 12:30, that whole shaded area was just covered with people. And I'm like, are
Yep.
they just going to slowly move all day? Like
Turn
as the
seven
sun
degrees
goes.
south.
But then the clouds came over and it was fine. So it was just
Yeah.
that like first hour that we were
Yeah.
kind of it was hot.
The worst
But
part
it
of the
was
game for me was I had sunscreen in my eye, so it looked like I was crying at how good we were playing. No, my eye was just weeping from
well,
sunscreen.
then I got shit in my eye when it got really windy. So it's just like apart from like that kind of stuff, it was just a fantastic day. It was very great having you up. And I'm sure all the faithful that came and said hello appreciated seeing you. And now we just have to get Deeps and Mads up here. That's the next
Yeah.
step. They
Yeah,
keep
it is.
promising. So we're going to see some results, boys. But we actually did play a game. And
Yes.
it was probably the best game I've ever seen us play. I, in terms of how clinical it was, yes, there was a bit there's a 15-minute patch where we let ourselves down and we could have won this game by more. But the way we went about this game was so clean and so thought out. And everything that I think Scotty had planned for the girls to do was achieved. Some of them may not have paid off. I'm sure he was not expecting our best player to kick 2.3 and should have had 7, but it was just I couldn't have been happier.
So people who know me will probably guess which quarter was my favorite. Some people will be, the second was the best because we kicked 3 goals in 30 seconds and just put the game to the sword at certain points. My favorite quarter was the last by so far because we've seen that when the girls get their rush on, where they're just like, we are in a hurry to get this done, and they can. It's not the first time that we've kicked 3 goals in 30 seconds. We literally kicked 3 goals in 30 seconds at one point in the second quarter again.
Yeah.
I love the last quarter because you know what? We controlled the footy. We controlled the pace. We kicked it laterally. We chose the right options. When it was time to kick it down the line, we kicked it down the line. We choked up Carlton's space. So if they got the footy, they'd have 100 meters of space with no one to kick it to. And they'd have to just hope for the best. And that was with a very heavy breeze that was probably a 3 or 4 goal breeze. And we shut them down and they didn't kick a goal. The way and that comes from Scotty also saying, when it comes time to shut a game down, I'll shut a game down. The game was over at 3/4 time. But the control, the skills, and also the pressure that the girls brought in that last quarter was amazing. And that for mine was probably the best part. I loved obviously the first and second quarter as well, but the last quarter, and I said it to my dad he rang me when I was on my way home, and he's like, I've watched the first quarter, it was amazing. I was like, we kicked the shit out of him. I was like, you'll love the last quarter. He texted me this morning, he's going, last quarter was the best quarter.
Yeah.
And that's what a few other people have said to me. So for footy nuffies like myself, my dad, James Comerford, and even the great Zane Red and White, they would have loved that. But I think it was also the best part was the bounce back and the pressure.
Yeah.
They were on from the first bounce. And I reckon I said to you in 10 minutes, and I was like, this is an absolute pizzling in the midfield.
Yeah. We won the clearance battle. And I don't think we can say that for any other game this year. That was the biggest takeaway for mine.
Yours?
I was just so impressed with how that midfield structure was working. Ali was on fire. She was just tapping everything down to advantage all day, and it just kept going from that first bounce. I think we kicked 7 of our 10 goals from the centre bounce. That's how good our clearance work was in this game, and it's so impressive to see a team struggle last week, played well the week before, but then has just basically struggled with clearances for the rest of all season to find this in their game, especially against a decent midfield. This is another thing. It's not like we were playing a shit team. As you said, and as I said coming into this game, they are a proper top 4 team. They didn't look like it in this game, but they have all season, and we managed to find a way to just absolutely demolish them. And I think it mostly comes down to every single player on this team played their role and played it well.
Yeah, and that was the thing. And you look at some of their players and their fire stars. Like you had Fitzpatrick, who had a career game the week before against Geelong. Darcy Maloney with a new role shuts her out of the game completely. Like you did not notice it on the rewatch. She probably you noticed her a little bit more, but that's because the commentators were hyping her up.
Yeah.
But I thought Darcy's game on her was brilliant. Then you look at Poppy Schultz, kicks 3 goals very quickly. Alice Mitchell goes on to her after she's kicked a third. She has one more possession for the rest of the game. All Australian Alice Mitchell, as I'm going to start campaigning
Yeah.
for later in the year.
The
As
AAA Liz Mitchell.
yeah, Triple AM. Yeah,
yeah.
that sounds like a radio station
Radio
my
station.
grandparents would listen to. But it was that, and then you had like I don't think Tanya Kennedy has ever played a better game of football.
No.
The tackles, the run from clearance, the run from congestion, the marks, the we don't know where this ball is going to go when she has a set shot for goal, and then even the kick off the ground, like it was just all brought about by pressure. And I think we're finally seeing these players flourish because I think when you hear Scotty talk about like their fitness program and everything, how they're building into it, they're now moving into the peak as well.
Yeah.
So it's understandable why you might have a flat patch. We're now hitting the peak as we go towards the finals. So this
Yeah.
it feels exciting.
Yeah, and I think they probably, when he did talk about this regime that they have, taking them all the way to the grand final, which whether we get there or not is a different question, but they have, plotted out the year to be able to get to that point. They probably got to the flat patch earlier than they were anticipating. I think they were probably expecting it to come the Adelaide North game. I think that they can pretty much they're probably very disappointed with how the North game came out, but I think that they were expecting that. They probably marked that as a loss, especially how the North ended up building in the season as well.
Yeah.
But to get to this point and to bring it back, and as I've keep saying, they are very, very mentally a very, very mentally forward team. So when they know they need to win a game, they can win a game. When they know that maybe it's, if they go into a game a bit complacent is when they lose games. And they definitely did not go into this game complacent. They knew we had to, if we want to play finals, we need to win this game. And that's what they brought all game.
It's almost like Scotty had teed up the clips from the week from everyone. Like the Swans are in a free fall. The Swans are going no good. They've started so well. They're going to miss finals. And it was almost a bit of that, like, hey, fuck you. Like, we are actually good. Like, yeah, okay, we lost to GWS and Collingwood. Should have beaten Adelaide, and shit, no one's going to beat North Melbourne. That we know that it's North, but I think quarters 2 and 3 again, will still let him down. But everything throughout the game, and so to just peek behind the curtain here, faithful, we've already interviewed Cynthia Hamilton, so she'll say later that they were on top of the pressure rating for all 4 quarters. It was the first time they've done it this year. I think that's the biggest thing to take away from that is the game plan was spot on. The best thing is there is so much to improve on from this game. And I don't know where to start from it, but there is a lot to improve on from the game. The easiest one, the easiest one is the person whose coattails I've been riding for the best part of 3 years now. And it was only her 36th, 33rd game on the weekend because Abby Holmes could not stop raving about it in commentary. Side note, commentary was amazing over the weekend.
So good. So good. What a difference having good commentators makes. Oh my God.
Yeah, Joe Wood and Jason Bennett and just Abby Holmes. Fresh off running the 10K in the Melbourne Marathon, by the way. Abby Holmes, shout out. It was phenomenal. Jason, not one player stuff up all day.
Exactly that. Yeah, he knew every player and didn't have an issue. But also, we lost the 4 games that she commentated.
Oh, yeah, but we won in round 1.
Did she commentate us in? Oh, she
Yeah,
did. She did.
She called us in round 1.
Yeah. Okay.
We're unbeaten with Jess Webster. We're unbeaten with Waterworth.
Yep.
Who Kelly commentated the free. Oh no, was that Jess who commentated the free?
I don't know. I was there.
All right, so Kelly's 1 and 4. Someone who watched the Freo game, please send us a message on social media if you watched it, because I can't remember if it was Kelly or if it was Jess Webster.
I feel like it wasn't Kelly.
I think
feel
it
like
was
it
Kelly.
wasn't.
We could be 2 and 5 with Kelly this year. But yeah,
That's
give me
so
more
many
Ben
games to have gotten her for. Could we
more
just
Ben
say?
Waterworth, more Jason Bennett. I reckon this weekend, Saturday's game will be a Fox game as well because it's Caulfield Cup and Everest Day, so they won't be playing footy on Channel 7 on Saturday.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the kicking.
Yeah.
Montana Ham. Love ya. You're my favourite player in the team by a stretch. if you started kicking straight, you could probably win the best and fairest. I don't think that's any word of a lie. She was quite clearly the best player
No.
on the ground on the weekend, but so far it wasn't funny.
Yep.
She should get the 3 votes. If you kick straight, like it's just a walk up all Australian blazer at the end of the year. It's a player who's her and Ella Roberts in the next decade, alongside your Zippy Fishers, alongside I suppose Ash Riddell's probably got a few more years left as
Yeah.
well. But then you look at Schultz, who plays for Port Adelaide as well. There's like a host of players. But for the next decade, you can go Ella Roberts, Montana Ham, and set your team up around those two players in your midfield. This is the talent we're talking.
Yeah.
She's just got to get the kicking rights. I've got the stats here. She has kicked 7 goals, 11 this year, and I reckon she's kicked about 7 that have completely missed.
Yep.
7-11. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I've been saying this is the
Her
moniker
goal,
I've been going
her
with.
shot at goal accuracy is 28%.
So she has the most talent for one of the worst footy brains. God, I love her so much, and she does add so much to this team. So it's not really, it's not even a knock.
I don't think it's a footy brain. I think she does everything. She's that good. Everything's on instinct.
Yeah,
When she
okay.
is streaming through, getting a handball off Cynthia or TK and streaming into an open goal, that is her just running and seeing the footy. That isn't thought. That is instinct. That is just being so good at your sport. The thinking part's when you're like, if you're having a set shot and then you
Sure.
try and do
I
something
mean,
silly.
to be fair, her set shot isn't great either.
But that's what I mean. She
Yeah.
is such an instinctual player. Like you can see Chloe when a ball comes near her. She's working out the next thing already as
Yeah.
well. But I think players like her, I think players like Ella Roberts, I think players like Jazz Garner, a lot of it's just pure instinct, and that's just unreal talent. And that's one of the things. It's just something that works out because next year she might kick 17 goals 4, and it just
Yeah,
works out
it's-
because
it's-
it's a
yes.
law of averages thing. And if you're gonna miss them on a day we win by 40 points.
True. And the only annoying thing is we're now into an area where percentage does come into play, and so having
Hey, we
her
boosted
kicks
it.
those goals would have been just a little because we only would have been in the 8 right now. Right now we're sitting in 9th, and it's only because of percentage.
But it's up 1%, and we play the
Yeah.
it's
And we play the team
0.2 of a
that's
percent.
yeah.
And we play that team that we have that have got that percentage gap on us.
No,
And
I
they've
know.
and they play Geelong this weekend. So the thing
No,
is,
I know.
if we manage to win and West Coast lose, it's an 8-point swing straight
Yeah.
away. And then you've also got to think about St Kilda and Carlton playing each other. Like that result.
It's a lot of games that really are in the balance
Yeah.
right now. We'll get into it more in the preview. We should
Yeah.
really talk about some more players because apart from Montana Hand's kicking, she was definitely the best player on the field. She could sell everything 3 steps ahead of everyone else. She was like she looked like she took the limitless pill. It was crazy, and she just couldn't kick. That first one, I still don't know how she missed that.
I think it came off her instep. That's my only thing
Yeah,
that I can
like,
think of.
'cause
Because even
even
the
we
commentary's like,
both
oh, she's
thought-
kicked the goal.
Yeah, we both thought it was a smother. Papa Porridge is what I'm calling Dad on the podcast now. Thought he was like, "How did that miss?" I was like, "We all thought it was a smother. What are you talking about? Like it missed." And yeah, he just completely missed everything. So apart from that, her game was phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
couldn't fault it. Just purely exactly how she needs to play. It's just the kicking in front of goal that drives you crazy. Most of them I could also like be like, that's fine. It was so windy. Most of them were on the run. It was just a couple that were like right in front of goal. We were like, well, how? Or the one that went fully out of bounds. I was like, how did that even happen?
Blaming the wind. Just blame the wind. We probably also need to touch on a record breaker.
That was what I was going to bring up next.
Oh,
So, well, yeah, this happens quite often, Faithful. Alex and I will message the same thing at the exact same time. I was going to say, if Montana Ham was the best on ground, the second best was Laura Gardner, who has achieved our 6th highest disposal count across the club. And when I mean across the club, I mean across the club in both codes, both men and women. She has gotten 43 disposals, which puts her 6th on our highest disposal count. What a freak.
Yeah. Oh, like just unreal and just in and around everywhere. Like going contest to contest. She was laying tackles all day as well. Like, it was the perfect all-round game. Like there could have been so much better because again, the wind on the day did play havoc with some of the kicking and the Swans were in such a rush at certain times to get things done that you really sort of couldn't sort of take a breath. Like she still laid 6 tackles, 9 clearances. She's played 100% game time alongside Zippy Fish. Like just an insane amount of of athleticism to be
Yeah.
able on a stinking hot day to play on the ground the
The
whole
whole
game,
time.
rack up 43. And I'm claiming this is a bingo tick, by the way. I
Oh
said
yeah,
that
that's fine. Yeah. I'll
I
let you
said
have
she'd
it.
break the record, and she's broken
Yeah.
the Swans record, and another 2 minutes, and she would have broken Ash Riddell's record as well. So
Yeah.
she was good, but then it's like, oh yeah, Ali Morfitt was brilliant. We've already talked
Yeah,
about Tanya
so
Kennedy. This could have been Ali's best game of the season as well,
yeah.
and
So
we
I'll have to
wanted
give
her to
this to
bounce back.
Saundo. As the wind was coming through and Ali was just absolutely uh, dominating, for better word, like a better word, we nicknamed her Cyclone Ali. I think that's gonna stick. She like that was just. I don't remember the last time. Actually, that's a lie. I don't know the last
Yeah.
time in the women's a ruck has had that much influence and has just absolutely monstered their opposition.
Well, the
She
funny
was
thing is,
fantastic.
she got beaten in the hitouts, but it was the
We wouldn't
worker.
have known.
It was the work around the ground. It was the clearance work. She's had 8 clearances herself. She's had 25 touches. She could have kicked a replica of the Dean Cox 2005 grand final goal when she got the ball about 60 out, ran in and kicked the point. Like it was ridiculous.
Yeah,
And it's so good to see like see her bounce back because obviously a bit of a poor game against North. Admittedly, a lot of
yeah.
players did as well. But to see her bounce back like that in a big way, and to see everyone do it, which
Mm-hmm.
is probably the main thing, is
Mm-hmm.
the best thing as well. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to talk about. Like, you have a look on the day. Lexi's had the least touches with 5, but she's had 7 tackles,
Seven
4 hit it.
tackles.
Yeah, and she was looking like she was going to kill someone at one point. Like, she was
Yeah.
just buzzing around non-stop. Like, Brenda Tarrant, you just didn't notice it because she did a job.
Yeah.
Holly Cooper, I thought, and I
Go,
was
yes.
worried about her game. Her tackling pressure, her goal assist that won't show up on the score sheet is why she's in the team. She needed to bring that on the weekend. She took a couple of marks, laid a couple of tackles, but was putting pressure on. She was helping create space. So she played really well. I thought one person whose game we didn't mention, and I noticed in the rewatch day, Jazz Grierson's last quarter was unbelievable. She was just calm. She didn't choose a wrong option. I reckon she had 6 of her 13 touches in the last quarter. She
Oh
was
yeah.
fantastic.
Also, first time goal kicker for the Swans and only her fourth ever goal. Lulu Puller.
Yep.
That was a name that we were both very at the ground level. We couldn't talk highly of her. Yes, she is very easy to spot. That is probably part of it. But she also played a fantastic game. Like these recruits that we've brought in this year. Now, we should probably call each other out on this. We were very, very critical
Why do we need to do this to each
post-trade.
other?
Post-trade last year because I think we need to give these 4 girls their flowers. Lulu Puller, Jazz Grierson, Ash Van Loon, and Darcy Maloney were the 4 people we brought in as a trade last year, and we were very skeptical going into this
Oh,
season.
I was annoyed at trading Ella Heads and 2
Yes.
picks for Ash Van Loon and 1 pick. I was wrong.
Ella Heads has been a non-existent basically for
I'm
Port
gonna
this
find the
year.
stats.
Bella Smith hasn't kicked a goal this year, and I don't even know if Montana Barrodson has played another game since
No,
playing against us.
she's been playing, but not noticeable.
These 4 girls that have come into our team have just lifted us so much. And obviously, Ash and Darcy had been dropped pre this game, have been brought back. And I genuinely think this team, plus Sophia Hurley, is our best team. That is our
Yep.
best 22.
Ella Heads hasn't
Sorry,
played a better
not
game this
22.
year. Ella Heads hasn't played a better game this year than she did last year. She's averaging the same disposals, but nothing has eclipsed anything she's done at the Swans.
Yeah, there you go. And so I think we're more than happy to put our hands up and say that we were wrong, and we just didn't really know how good these players were going to be coming into this team, and they've lifted us so much. I think there's probably one person in the current list that I would drop for Sophia Hurley, but with Sophia Hurley in this team, that is our best team.
Yeah.
That is our best team, hands down.
Yeah, and I think that was shown in the way that we played on the weekend. Everyone just sort of knew what they were doing. They were all just in like the right groove. They were in the right motion, and you saw that. And the best way of saying that is when we had the kick out routine where
Yes.
Alice Mitchell plays on, hands it off to Zippy, who's looping around to all of a sudden Montana hams in 80 meters of clear space. I must be annoying to watch football with because about 5 seconds before it happened, I said Zippy's going to kick this to Montana and she's got 100 yards. And they just went bang
I don't
right in
know,
front
mate.
of us.
You're sitting between me and my brother, so I'm
Yeah.
obviously fine hearing that. And I don't even think he was listening, so I
No,
think you're fine.
yeah, he was like, "What?" I'm like,
Yeah, don't
yeah."
worry. Don't.
But like, I saw it coming, and to know that they can do that, and they haven't done that since round one, which is
Yes.
great as well. To know that they have that in the locker,
Well,
and they
maybe
probably
round
have.
two. I'm pretty sure they did it against Gold Coast.
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
That was a training run anyway. But we haven't really done it since then because you don't want to pull it out too often. On a
Yeah.
windy day like that, great time to pull it out as well when you've got the wind and on a ground where you can just chain through the midfield so quickly. It was really good. And I thought that was stuff like that. And then even the goal that Montana did kick in the third quarter as well, where it's Lucy keeping it in when Yasmin Dersma tackle slipped, kicks it to Cynthia. It's a great kick. It's a great mark. Lexi just with the shove assist off to Montana for a goal. If there was a camera on Polly Porridge right then, faithful, she nearly jumped the fence to celebrate with the girls. She was in another universe of happiness.
That was probably my favorite goal of the day. There were a lot of good goals. Obviously, I got very excited for Lulu because I realized, it was her first ever goal. Um,
Chloe's 75th in her
yeah,
69th game.
Yeah, doesn't get much better than that.
Mine was,
But-
I'm going to be honest, mine was TK's set shot because
Yeah,
when she
probably,
was
yeah, 'cause
like,
you were like, "There's no way she's kicking this. There's no way." She's kicking
as soon as I saw it as a set shot, I'm like, this could go anywhere. And then she's gone back 40 meters and sprinted and kicked it like
Yeah.
she was on the run and bombed it over the fence. I was like,
Also-
oh, yeah.
The one where she soccered it was amazing, and Dad did message me going she could play for Arsenal, and Alex goes, "There's no way an Irish girl is getting on the Arsenal team." But
No,
hey,
it's
look.
like, no, we don't need a striker. We need some defenders.
Yeah. But yeah, that goal that I've rewatched it so many times is just fantastic. And I really want to give Luce her flowers because I think apart from the fact she can't kick a goal,
Jason Bennett made comment of that. He's like, she kicked 0 goals 8 this year. I'm like, yeah, she's cursed, brother.
I don't know what. I think it's probably me because I did say she was the one person I would want kicking in front of goal every time. But hey, these things happen. Apart from that, her season has been fantastic and she does not get enough flowers at all. She is such a good captain on top of everything else she does for this team. And I just really want to shout Luce out because I think she just fantastic game. That in particular obviously stood out, but she did everything around the ground as well. She took a million marks as she always does. She's just fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's she's in her best position when she's on a wing halfback.
Yeah.
And I think we saw that across the weekend, across the game, that in previous weeks we've tried her around in different positions. No, she needs to play that wing halfback role where she can get rolling. And that was the thing. One thing we haven't pointed out was our dominance was so profound that at one point it was 21 inside 50s to 2. And the other reason they got deep inside one of their inside 50 at one point was because of the soft 50-meter penalty that we gave away. That was there.
It wasn't
No, it was-
soft. But
It was.
yeah.
It was dumb. Running through the protected zone, just stupid, which we should know better. It was like we were killing them everywhere, and it was clearances. We kicked 6 or 7 of our goals from center clearances on the day, which was unreal. And we were just running in waves, and that's what we've noticed when we play our best footy. We run in waves.
Yeah, for sure. Man, I'm so glad I was there for it and watching it back on TV, it hit just as well, if not better.
Yeah.
It was just so good. Another person I want to shout out because I did mention it before. She got dropped. She's come back in a new role, and I think this role is really good for her. And that's Darcy Maloney. Her tagging, and you did mention this already. Her tagging, Shearer.
No,
had
Fitzpatrick. It's on
Sorry,
Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick. Non-existent. She
Yeah.
took her out of the game. And normally TK plays that role. And I don't know if TK was tagging anyone in this game, but giving TK the ability to run around and kick 2 goals, basically, and taking that pressure off her having the tagging role, I really liked it. I thought that was a really good change from Scotty, and it was really great to see.
Yeah, so Fitzpatrick had come off 24 and 2 the week before. She's had 12 touches on the weekend. Like, it was a great job. Like, Abby McKay's only had 17 touches. Keely Sherrar worked into it, ended up with 20. But apart from Velado, you honestly did not notice many of these players. Obviously,
No.
Poppy Schultz, she's going to be a star, I think.
Yeah.
But then it's like, it was good to see, not good to see because it sounds wrong, but Sophie McKay, after sort of a bit of a hype had been built around her, just got flattened.
Yeah.
Like, you know who the best first year player in the competition is. And she showed it at certain points throughout the game as well, taking bounces and running through the midfield. The one thing I want to point out was she stepped inside someone in the first quarter and hit Chloe on the chest. Like, basically directed her where to go with the footy. Like, to be 18 years old and this good at footy is just unfair. And we're going
Yeah.
to talk about Zibby Fish every week. Probably a lower end of a game from her, but she still had 20.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was.
phenomenal.
Oh, can't remember which commentator it was, but one of them was like, it was my first time actually getting to
Abby
watch her
Holmes.
live. It was Abby Holmes, yeah.
Yep.
And she's like, it's just so much more impactful when you actually get to see it in person. It's true. Like you notice her everywhere. I do think sometimes her and Laura look too much alike, and that gets confusing because they're both so good. And so it could be anyone at any given point. Yeah. And same with like Paris McCarthy because they all do their hair in the same way. So that's usually what I look for is the hair and the boots. And so especially when I'm at the ground. And so when I all have the same hair and the same boots, it makes it really difficult.
Yeah. It's speaking of hair, you noticed Darcy's hair. There was a
I
change
did.
up, which could be a
It was a
change of
change
form.
up. Yeah. She's gone the middle part instead of like the full straight back. And I don't know if that was deliberate, Darcy, but I think it worked. So we do notice these things. Having spent so much time of our week watching the girls, we do notice things like hair change, which sounds psychotic, but it is what it is.
Hmm.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, because we do have the Cynthia interview in the social seg slot, we are going to play two voice notes post game. I need to make sure that my computer is actually sharing for that. So we've got this first one from a man who had his very first voice note on the podcast last week for the W show and actually got to meet him in person this time, which was so lovely. So Toby T, thank you from Castle Craig. Thank you so much for coming and saying hello. It was delightful to meet you. I was nearly gonna blow up at you on the pod because you came over at halftime and said we've won it from now, and then that's when Carlton went on a run. So I was gonna be very critical of you on the pod this week, but you were right. We did win. We came out with the win. So let's hear what you have to say through your voice note.
Guys, Toby T from Castle Crag. What an absolute cracker of a game that was. I'll admit, I rolled in the gates thinking we'll probably lose today. Shows what I know about footy. Tanya Kennedy, what an absolute gun she is. What a game. Morford flogged him in the middle. We flogged him in clearances. I think it was something like 45 inside 50s to 22. Could have beaten them by more. What an absolute flogging. Great to meet you guys, Polly and Alex. What a great day on the hill. Up the Swans, up the potty, up the ladies.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Toby. And then we've got this one from Vicky.
Hey, faithful. Vicky from Ballarat here.
Oh, the
How
rat!
good were the Swans against the Blues? So good to be back in the winner's circle. Can't fault the girls at all today. Good pressure, standing up when it mattered. Shout out to Tanya Kennedy and Montana Ham. All over the ball, all day. Absolutely stunning from the Swans. Can't wait to see how they play out the last 3 games of the seasons. Come on, Swans. Finals beckons. We've got this. Go Swans!
I love it.
Exactly right. Thank you, Vicky. Well, that pretty much wraps up our review of this fantastic game and hopefully sign into more things to come for the rest of the season. But we're going to jump into the interview with Cynthia Hamilton now.
This is True Bloods, and we are back, and back in a big way. Not just off the win over the weekend. Of course, I'm always joined by Pol, but Pol just moved to the side here because we have, I'll be honest, it's possibly the biggest firebarometer that we have in all of Sydney. No one loves celebrating a goal maybe more than Patrick Voss across both competitions. We are joined by Cynthia Hamilton. What's up, Cynthia?
Hey guys, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. It's an absolute pleasure. I know the faithful, which is what we call our listeners, absolutely love when we get access to the players. And so they're going to be very stoked to have our first ever best and fairest winner on the podcast. So I guess like we'll just start with the very beginning. You grew up in Canberra, as we like to call you, Canberra's finest. What was it like growing up in Canberra playing footy? Because I'm from Sydney, Alex is from Wagga. We both come from very different footy perspectives, and it would be great to hear a Canberra footy perspective.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's very different to a lot of the girls in the team and probably in the competition. But yeah, it was a very slow moving comp. I started with the boys when I think I was 9 years old, playing alongside my little brother. I remember just going to watch a game, and they needed some players, and I was on the sideline. They're like, jump on in, and then from there, sort of took off and started playing, kept playing with the boys until I was around 13, which I'm pretty fortunate considering listening to other girls' stories about where their journey sort of started. I was pretty fortunate that by the time I was like kicked out of the boys' comp because they were going through puberty and they were getting a bit big compared to skinny little Cynthia back then. But I was pretty fortunate that there was a girls' comp had started up and it was up and running. So I was pretty fortunate to just jump straight in to the female comp playing. I don't know if you guys know, but one of six kids, and obviously Lexi, the sister. But we played a lot of. I played a lot of my junior footy alongside my siblings. So it's pretty cliche, but to move on to the W, to the professional league, to play alongside my sister is pretty cool. But I was a part of the Giants Academy, which is very like it's a big thing if you're a Canberran to be a part of the academy. I feel like everyone reps the gear around and loves it, and I think it's still the same now where the kids all walk around with their Giants kit on to let everybody else know that they're a part of the academy. But I've always been a Swans supporter, so I think that was my biggest blessing that my draft year the Swans were joining the comp. And I remember when I first met with Scott and Kate, and I said, "This is where I want to be. This would be a dream come true, honestly." And yeah, it's pretty cliche, but I think I'm so grateful to be in the red and white, and yeah, wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
I think we could tell that as well. I just think it comes out with the way that you play as well. This will probably jump around all over the place, but just it's the way that you sort of attack the footy and that you attack the game as well. It's like you've put the shirt on your back, you've crossed the line. It's like you're living out your dream and you will do anything to, I guess, defend its honor and do your best for it because in a way it is an honor, I guess, to play professional footy and then for it to be the team that you grew up supporting as well. So I think it comes out in your play.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like when I'm like, especially like watching footy with my family when I was younger, we'd go to the Swans game, get the red and white face paint going. But no, I definitely feel that sort of aspect to it as well. When like I put on the red and white, I want to be the best possible version of myself. And as a footballer, once that jersey comes on, even if it's just for a training session or whatever it is, I feel like you stand taller with the red and white on you. And I think a lot of the girls feel that. And when multiple people feel that way, it brings everybody that sort of sense of feeling. So I think, yeah, you definitely hit the nail on the head. Like once that jersey comes on, all you want to do is do the Bloods proud and really play that blood style of footy.
Well, I think it's very evident in your goal celebrations because you do love a jersey tug. We have
Oh,
noticed.
God.
You definitely have the best goal celebration of anyone at the club, and I would say anyone in the competition. I'm willing to put it out there. This week, though, you did go with a different goal, Sally. Was there a particular reason for that one?
Oh, it's a little bit of a TikTok trend at the moment, and me and Ali Morfitt were in the sheds before the game, talking about it. His name's Dexter. He plays in the NFL, and he's like,
Yeah.
he's said that this needs to be the new celebration. Get rid of like the gritty and stuff, and bring in this. It's called the Sexy Dexy. And Ali actually stitched me up because she said pre-game, she said, if you kick a goal, we'll do it together. And then I look over at her and she's off with the fairies, not even paying attention. And I was just like, all right, I've
Got it.
committed to this now. I've got to go for it. But it was definitely a different celebration to what I usually go for.
I think the best part of it was Montana Ham standing there going, "Am I going to get it? Am I going to get my high five here? Like, what the hell is going on?" Look, like everyone else was like, that was confusing but hilarious in one. But I think the jumper tug, the after the triple candy sell in round one, how are the discussions going at the moment with who's going to split the goal of the year prize money and is there going to be a letter written to the AFL for point of the year to be awarded? Because I feel like we've kicked point of the year about 5 times already too.
Nah, I'm pretty fortunate in this point because I don't know. I know there is rules that can bring back the goal of the year nomination at the end of the year, but I think I'm the only one that's won the actual vote at the end of the week. So at this point, I think I'm ahead. But I wouldn't be surprised if Moy or Mons gets brought back in. I don't know if you saw how Matilda Schultz has got brought back in last year, then she won it. So, but I have said to the girls, if I do happen to win it, you can expect a celebratory sort of party vibe going on.
Yes, what is it? They've bumped it up to 50 grand, and I think it's like 2 million velocity points, which for me, I think the 2 million velocity points is the best part. You just like sit up the back, losers. I'm going up the front of the plane.
Yeah, 100%. The 50K would be pretty nice to the bank account, but the velocity points is a huge win. So would be happy. Would be very stoked to be winning that
Post-season trip.
Yeah, 100%. Shouting everybody.
I feel like the club would be like the finance team or whoever's like helping you out. Be like, no, long-term investments, set up your life. And you're like, no, let's go to Europe, hey?
My accountant would be spinning his head. He'd be like, what's going on here?
So you got this 50K in and it immediately went out. What's happening, guys?
Yeah. No investment at all. Just let's have fun.
So I want to talk about so far this season. Obviously, Sunday, it was actually my first time back at Henson Park in 7 years. So my first time watching a W game at Henson. I had a great time. But do you feel like, because obviously you've played all around Australia in the last couple of years, what is it that sets Henson Park apart from other clubs? Like I can see the Western Bulldogs are building something at Whitten Oval now, but comparatively to your Adelaide, your Brisbanes, your Norths, who are the benchmark of the competition, what makes it why that the Sydney Swans and Henson Park is such a special place in W folklore already?
I'm not too sure how we actually really took off in that sort of manner, but I think it's all thanks to our fan base here, and I think the buy-in from them too to show up every week. And I think props to the Swans, they're absolutely unreal at their advertising and getting. I think it's a good because I think obviously you got to compare when you see the Giants play there and the Swans. I just think the way that the Swans do it, they put so much on. There's so much engaging activities. I think they make it a really welcoming place to be a part of. And I probably had the same question over the past couple of weeks of how, we probably had a bit of a rough stint the past couple of weeks, but the fans still show up. And I think they have such an investment into our team and our program that they're just so willing to just show up every week and know that we're going to put our best foot forward and fight to the end. I do think it does come down to the way the Swans promote and get the real fan engagement. And obviously Pride Game is huge amongst the Sydney community. And again, they showed out on the weekend. I think we are definitely doing it the best in the league.
Without a doubt. I'm a lifelong Swans fan like yourself, and when the women's team came into the competition, I'm sure like yourself, it was such a relief, and to see the entire community constantly get around it is so lovely. And I always feel so fortunate, I'm sure you girls do too, of seeing how much more engagement we get than any other fan base. Just jumping around a bit, now, I would say you are the barometer, the vibe lifter of the team. I don't know if you also feel like that. Do you often feel like you're taking the team on your shoulders, or is it just kind of happen?
I think my goal celebrations do have a tendency to lift the group up. I would say it probably would be like Lex and I. We are pretty, I wouldn't say we're crazy, but we're very, I feel like we're very fun to be around, and we do lift the vibes quite heavily when we're around others. And I think especially in times where we are down, I think for me would be like that Giants game where we were probably in a bit of a standoff with them, and then having to kick that goal. I feel like those sort of vibes do lift the team. But at the same time, it does take a whole team to lift the vibes. So I think once we're all, it does take, one person can lift it, but I think when everyone sort of gets around it, it does make a massive difference. But I wouldn't want to take all the credit, but I do think I'm a bit of a vibe lifter.
So what I enjoyed on the weekend was obviously that amazing running goal that Montana's kicked where you've taken the backwards falling mark. And I didn't notice it obviously sitting on the wing watching at the time. But out of nowhere, your sister comes and just decides to shove someone over as Mon's running into an open goal. And I asked her this when I interviewed her on the other show that I do. Why is it that it's always yourself, Lexi, and possibly TK getting involved in a little bit of fisticuffs every game?
I don't know. I can speak on behalf of Lex and I, but I think growing up in a big family, you're very protective of the people that are like
Yep.
closest to you. So I think Tanya Kennedy is just a massive people person. I think she if someone was to hurt someone near her, I think on the weekend too, Lexi got shoved over and Tanya ran 50 meters to just bump the person. I do think that it comes a bit more tendency that we are a bit more aggressive, the three of us. Soph Hurley definitely loves to jump in there and give a bit of a push and shove as well, the cheeky bugger. But I think as well, we're just very protective of the people. And I think if I was to be pushed over, I would want someone to protect me. So I think it just goes that sort of way that we wouldn't want. It also comes down to like, if you're a team versing us next week and you watch us get bashed around all day and people aren't standing up for each other, you'd think that's a massive opportunity to just bash into us and we wouldn't protect each other. So I think it's also setting that standard to other teams that we won't allow our team to be bullied or pushed around. I think that just shows that we're in it together and yeah, we protect one another.
Was
No, you
that
don't.
something? Oh, sorry,
No,
Pol.
you go. You go.
Was that something that you guys had talked about during the week? Obviously, coming off the North Melbourne loss, where it wasn't a great day, let's be honest. But you've dominated Carlton across every stat, but you bashed them around the clearance. You out tackled them. You outmarked them. Anytime they got the footy, they were under pressure at all times. Was that something that was talked about? It's like come out, hit them hard, and sort of make a statement to remind everyone how good the Swans are.
Well, I think exactly what you said. The main thing was our main focus was to bring the pressure. I think that's something that we stand on every week, that we bring no matter what was the pressure. And I think that was probably our flaw with North, was that we didn't bring the pressure that we usually sort of bring. And the stats were probably reversed against North. So I think that was the main thing coming out against Carlton, was that they're a high pressure team as well. So we need to hit first and be high pressure. And I think that was probably the first game. I don't know if I would beg to say maybe in the 4 years that I've played here that we've held the full pressure for 4 quarters. So I think, yeah, definitely coming out and being quite physical to start off with definitely set us up and was definitely spoken about throughout the week.
Now, you don't get to put as much pressure on when you got solely a forward. You do get to do it a bit more when you get that midfield time. Is moving into the midfield something you're trying to do? Is it something you prefer, or do you prefer to stay forward, or do you just kind of go where Scotty tells you to go?
Yeah, a bit of that. I do love a bit of midfield time, and it's definitely something that we've been trying to get more of. It's also just like, I think with our season so short, it's so hard to find those link ups and those collaborations with who the best person to swap with. So it's definitely been a work on this year, is to try and get in there a bit more, but just finding the time and the right games to get in there a bit more. But I definitely do love getting into the midfield a bit, but just to test how long my tank will hold me in there for.
Keep going,
Okay.
Pol.
Sorry. We need to go one by one, so I was expecting you to have a question ready. No, that's really good to hear, because there was one particular play where Alex and I were like, all right, who's in the middle? And I think it was just after Carlton kind of got a bit of a run on. I think they kicked 3 goals and we were like, oh God, it was just after half time. We're like, oh no, we've seen this show before. We got the fives. And we saw you in the midfield and we were like, okay, Cynthia's gone in there. There's changes happening. Scotty's plans are working. I can say as well, from watching that game, that felt the most clinical that you girls have ever played that I've seen. Like the way you shut down that last quarter was fantastic. I couldn't rate that performance higher. So you guys did a fantastic job. Now I'm going to steal an Alex question here, because he is a big proponent of a set shot routine, and you have the. I reckon I can replicate it if I had the time to your set shot routine, because you've got it so down pat. How did you come up with it? Has it been that way for a long time? How did you find what worked for you?
It is very very set, and it actually has gotten probably so set to the point that if I do miss something or do something wrong, it does like throw my whole shot out. So I'd probably thank Nick Davis because he, when the first year he'd come into the program, I was having some struggles with my set shots in the first year that I joined. Because as a kid, I don't think you realize how important it is to have something so set. And I think growing up, I was always more of my shots were on the run. So I think when I got to the W, I realized I need to practice my set shots. And Davo, actually, I was doing some extras with him when he first joined, and he would take me out with his daughter Geordie, and we'd do some set shots together. And he actually helped me get it down pat. But now I think I've really taken it on. And I don't know where the touching my left boot to my right boot with the footy has started, but it's stuck. And it's definitely a part of the routine now. But I don't think you realize how important having that sort of preparation for a shot actually matters until you're there.
That was the complete opposite to Tanya Kennedy's set shot goal the weekend, where she was like, I'm going to pretend like I'm running in and just boot it, because we're on the hill going, this could go anywhere, because she's obviously, with her Irish background, best on the run. But I've noticed that your sister and Chloe sort of all do the same. It's not the exact same routine, but the pre-shot routine is the same. Like, you take a mark where the mark is, take your 6 or 7 steps back, lay your next marker, and then get your run up right. Is that something that I suppose Nick Davis has seen? And we've seen it in the men's program. Like, Logan McDonald has his routine that's the same every time. And Jack Wooler, if he's still with the Swans, are not neither here nor there, but he does the same thing every time. Is it something that, I suppose, do the men sometimes be like, oh, maybe if you try something like this just to try and help your rhythm, I guess? Or is that just something that obviously Nick Davis has helped coach you, or you've just bought in yourself after maybe some bad times in front of goal?
Tanya Hetherington sort of brought that bit into my goal kicking as well, the setting the mark. I tended to get really close to the mark and then freak out, and it would just shank left and right. But I prefer it because I think when you're having a set shot, everything slows down around you, and I think you can get so anxious when you're having one. And I think having that marker of where you need to kick from really changes it, because one, I don't think anything else is more embarrassing than having a set shot and kicking it into the mark. I think that would be I think there's been a few W players, probably in the men's as well, that have done it, and I think it would be the worst feeling, I reckon, having a set shot and kicking into the mark. So definitely that. But I've spoken to Heaney a couple of times about some of my marking stuff, but I think the set shot is really down to personnel. I think it's really what you feel comfortable doing most, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to have the footy in the hand when no one else is there to tell you really how to do it. So, yeah.
Now, in your first couple seasons, we obviously got very familiar with your helmet, and you have since dropped the helmet. Was there a big decision in that, or was it just you just got sick of it, or what happened?
Nah, it actually was a very controversial topic in the family. But it first started with the fact that I didn't train with it on. I only played with it. And then Scott started to ask the question of, like, what's the go here? Like, if you're going to train the way you play, you got to train with it on. And obviously with the W season running later in the year, it gets so much hotter.
Yeah.
I was finding that I was becoming so much more exhausted really quickly in games with it on. It was definitely a bit of an argument with my mum to convince her to let me have it off. But I did see a post recently talking about, like, garments or something, whatever you call them, in the W, and my photo was on there. But it was definitely a sad thing to let go, because I've worn it since I was 13. So I think it was a massive change for me, but I definitely feel so much freer out there without it on. It's a sweat box under there.
I can only imagine. Did Lex ever get told to wear it if your mum was so adamant about you wearing it?
Well, Lex was always sort of bigger than everyone else we were versing.
Okay. Yeah.
So she sort of snuck away from it, but every other one of us had to wore it as kids. So she sort of got lucky and didn't have to, but the rest of us, it was a matter of, you won't play if you don't wear it.
Wow.
Yeah.
The joys of being tall.
Yeah, exactly. Being a bit, but she was also she's always been a bit of a, not basher, but loves to be physical. So I think she held her own ground quite early when she started playing. So I think she got lucky with that bit of it.
Yeah, so to this weekend, and we'll talk about obviously some footy now. But obviously, the D's massive test. It's in Cranbourne. You're playing the D's in Cranbourne. It's a whole story. It's a mile away if you've never been there. It's so far out of Melbourne, it isn't funny. But huge game. Obviously, they're playing really well this year. They've got a few injuries as well, and it's come out in the injury report today that Chloe's going to miss this weekend. So, how hard? Like, not how hard is it, but how will you guys sort of look to lift and obviously make up for the Chloe Molloy sized hole in the forward line? Is it something where you become the main target, or is it just something that the team works around with different setups and structures because the D's are playing some good footy?
Yeah, no doubt the D's are playing good footy, but I think for the first year our depth is really good, and I think we've built a list where it sort of allows for players to be able to um, have those a week away or whatever it is. And I think as a forward line, we've really worked on that over the preseason and off season. That we can't rely on individuals to be the only ones that be our main ball getters or main goal kickers. So I think, especially this year, I think we've had a big vast
Mm.
majority of us hit the
Yeah.
scoreboard. So I think
Yeah.
that's a massive positive for us. And I think obviously Chloe is a massive loss, but I think it also just opens up opportunities for the rest of the forwards to really showcase what they can do and get a bit more of the footy and hopefully get some more goals on the board. But yeah, it's obviously a massive loss. But as a forward line and also with our midfields coming forward, I don't think we're as worried about it. But yeah, definitely going to feel her not being out there. But again, we're very confident in what we do that we'll be able to lift to hold her weight.
Yeah, for sure. And Melbourne is the last team that we've never played before. Is
Really?
it a different, yeah,
Yeah.
is it a different kettle of fish when you're preparing for a team you've never come across actually properly before, or is it same old as every other week?
Yeah, I think a bit of both. It definitely is like same old as every other week, but we obviously do our research into them. So,
Yeah.
but it definitely, I definitely feel that sort of side of it when you're coming against a team that you've never versed before. You have no familiar, like no familiar. How do you say that word? Cut that out. Yeah, you're not. We don't have any sort of. We obviously have the insight of the week to week the way they play, but it'll be a very interesting test for us. And I think after the off the back of the weekend, we've just come off a massive win. And I think not only was it a win, but we were playing our footy. And I think that brings us so much confidence to go into this week and to rerun that all again. And I think the feeling that we felt after that game, we're going to be chasing that
Yeah.
100%. And I think we're at the point of the season where we have nothing to lose. Yes, like
Mm.
finals are on the line, but um, so like they've got to play their footy too. They've just come off a loss, so I think we're going to come in guns blazing. We're ready to go. I think we're at that point of the season where it's you got to give it your all, and I think yeah, we're really in a position to give the D's a red hot crack.
And one final question, because obviously the second of the two Pride rounds in the competition this weekend, how important is that? Because obviously we saw on the weekend the celebrations at Henson Park and across the competition as well. But how important as a competition and a professional is this just to make the game feel inclusive for everyone, not just players, but for fans, for officials, for everyone?
Yeah, 100%. So I think it's so important. I think when we have so many of our teammates as well a part of the community, I think it not only makes everyone feel welcome, but it also the impact that we have on people's lives. I don't think we understand, and I think when you open up an environment like that where everyone is welcome, and you see us running out through a rainbow banner and there's fireworks going off, I think it just yeah, I think it's the epitome of like everyone is welcome, and I think that's so huge because um, the W do it so well.
Yeah.
And we're such a welcoming environment that's what I do think why we bring in so many crowds is because we are a very inclusive side. And I think as a team and as the W, we are very inclusive. And I think that just replicates why we have so many big crowds. And I think, yeah, it's such a huge part of our team and our community and our fan base as well. So I think it's so important that we continue to strive for that excellence and promotion of how welcoming we are. And it's a community that we all want to be a part of.
That's perfect. I don't
Perfect.
think there's any other way that we could end this. That has been absolutely perfect.
Cynthia, thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure the faithful will love listening to this tomorrow or whenever they get a chance to listen. Best of luck against the D's. Alex will be there in Cranbourne. He's going to make the drive. I will not be in there because I live in Sydney. And best luck for the rest of the season. Obviously, we're really hoping you guys make finals, but we just love to see you playing your best footy like you did on the weekend. So thank you.
Thank you guys so much for having me. See you on the weekend.
Welcome back to True Bloods. This is the preview. We are previewing the game against the Dees, and Alex, I think as much as the Carlton game was a must win, this maybe not as much, but still a must win. It's still a must win.
Yeah, it's win the game so the pressure's not on you come the last round and you have to win to make finals. You'd love to have the breathing space. If you are to lose at this time of year, keep it close. Percentage is going to be so important. We took a bunch of percentage off Carlton over the weekend as well. So that stuff like that, it's all going to add up at the moment. Like Carlton on the weekend, I think they lost something like 12%. We gained 15% or so.
Yeah.
So you have a look at that. St Kilda's on 105. West Coast is on 117. The West Coast one probably doesn't matter as much because the winner out of us and West Coast is probably going to make finals.
Yes.
Geelong's is on 98. Fremantle's percentage, they're cooked. They're on 68%. So they have to smash teams to make it through. But then you look, Adelaide 128, Brisbane, thanks to belting Freo by 100 points, are on 157. You don't need to worry about Hawthorn and Melbourne. It is simply win, and if you lose, keep it tight. Don't get blown out.
Yeah, and I think look, maybe I'm going the early crow, but I think if we win this, we're playing finals. I think we can pretty confidently say that.
I think we'll beat West Coast at home, and I think we'll beat Essendon anyway. So if we do win this, we should lock it in.
Yeah, and which is really we've put us for the downfall, as people were saying. We've put ourselves back in a very good position. Yes, it would have been good to have beat Carlton by a little bit more and got even more of a percentage boost because we probably could have, and some of those goals probably we let through.
Yeah.
But we come into this game putting ourselves in a very good position. We've just come off a fantastic win, and Melbourne have come off a pretty unexpected loss. We beat Freo, they've just lost to Freo.
Yes.
So, and they also got smashed, not on the actual scoreboard, their bodies.
Oh yeah, this was a demolition derby. Taylor Harris, every chance she may not play this weekend, but they'll probably try and push her through because obviously it is an important game for them because if they somehow lose 2 in a row, not that it puts them in danger because they're on 28 points. They're a game clear in third. But if they lose, Brisbane, Adelaide, one of Carlton and St Kilda's going to win and one of us wins, all of a sudden, we're on 24 points and we're probably, we're a game behind. We're probably in 8th. But 3rd to 7th is equal on points.
Yeah.
Which is
it's a big
fucking
deal.
Amazing.
And if they had beat Freo, they would have been locked in.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because Hawthorn are officially locked in.
Yeah. So they would be also coming away from that game pretty disappointed that they couldn't get it done. And look, not always the best conditions you want to come up against a team in. Yes, it's good. Not good. Good's not the right word. Fortunate timing that they've had a hard game and then we
in
get
Perth
to play
on
them
a Sunday, Arvo.
Yes, and then we're playing them on a Saturday, so less time, recovery. Obviously, we also played on Sunday, but they've got to fly back and then drive out to Cranbourne, which we do too.
They may not have got back to Melbourne till yesterday. Let's be honest, because if they flew home,
they probably would have.
They either stay the night on Sunday night because their game ended at 5 o'clock local time. It's either you get the overnight flight or you stay overnight. So if they flew back yesterday, they wouldn't have trained yesterday. They would have only got on the pitch again today. Well, we played Sunday, had our recovery. They would have had a run around today, and they've done the injury report, which we'll get to. So there's going to be some fatigue in those bodies, and this is a good time to get them because they've also got Brisbane the week after and Geelong in the final round. So it's not an easy finish for Melbourne. These are their toughest tests.
This is the thing as well. Most of the teams now that we're sort of equally in level with are all playing each other. So really the top 8 could finish in any way right now because we play Melbourne and West Coast. West Coast play us and maybe North.
West Coast I've got the thing up here. West Coast next week have us and then Carlton. West Coast. So Carlton have had us, St Kilda at West Coast in 2 of the last rounds.
Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure Adelaide has to play North. So that's a automatic you're losing.
I'm not worried
points.
about Adelaide and Brisbane. I think
no,
but
it's
fine.
Still
the permeations.
There's a lot to still go on, and North and Hawthorn are locked in. Still don't understand how the Hawthorn have pulled this off, but it is what it is.
Adelaide still have a showdown as well.
Yeah, okay, and anything can happen in a showdown.
Yeah.
Literally anything. So,
And then in the final round, they have Freo, which, yeah, that could be
which
a
is
must
that?
win.
Is that them at home or is that
They are in Norwood, yes.
okay? So yeah, and look, anything can happen. And the D's have beat the Dogs, Saints, Pies, but it was very close. Richmond, West Coast, Gold Coast, and Essendon. So realistically, they
Spuds.
haven't really beat anyone of high contention, and they lost to Freo and Port.
They've been putting scores on teams, though. I think that's the biggest thing. Like
Yeah,
62-89. They beat Collingwood. That was the game where I said to you, Collingwood are better than what we think.
yeah.
They beat
That was the week
Richmond.
before us.
It was a bit weird. They lost to Port, which was a bit weird, but I think
Yeah.
Port that was a bit of a bit of justice for them after the Geelong calamity the week
Mm.
before. Smacked West Coast, smacked Gold Coast, but Gold Coast are terrible as we know.
Yeah.
And they struggled to get past Essendon, and I think Essendon are dog shit.
Well, they were really bad against the Dogs.
Yeah.
So there's a lot, like, yes, they are a very good team, and they are one of those four legacy teams that have been good forever. They had a down year last year, but they've mostly been good forever. So it is a tough game when you look at the ladder, but I don't think it's as tough as we are expecting. I think this is like I thought the Carlton game's going to be really tough based on how they play. I don't think this is going to be as tough. Like if 2 weeks ago, I would have been more stressed about the Carlton game than I would be about this game.
Yeah, like you sort of just look at it across the board as far as sort of possessions and everything. So possessions, they average a couple more than us. Inside 50s, they average a few more than us, but that's also because they've got Kate Hoare and Zanko who are killing it at the moment. Clearance is
Yeah.
the same. We take more marks. Disposal efficiency is the same. Tackles, they lay a few more. They're a physical team too. Hit outs and turnovers, it's all relatively equal as well. So when you think about that, they haven't played North Melbourne yet. They haven't had to play Adelaide. It's, our stats do line up well against them. It's just
Yeah.
the bad news is we're going to be without the best player in the competition on Saturday.
Yeah, so Faithful, the injury report has come through, and Chloe is set to miss this week with a sore back. We both had anticipated that she might be injured, and we were both correct, unfortunately. It does seem it's minor. It does seem like it's only going to be this week, and it's probably just they just don't want her to travel, is my guess, in why they're not playing her, because I think this was already the case coming into the Carlton game. And also, an update on Sophia, the quad injury seems to be worse than they thought,
Yeah.
and we don't actually know when she's going to be back. So that's another two of our best five easily. Probably two of our best three, if it, speaking from a very biased Polly perspective, are going to be missing in this game, and that sucks.
Yeah, it's hard because you don't want to be like Sophia we were already without, but then to lose the only player that's kicked double-figure goals for the club this season is very tough as well. So
Yeah.
we're going to have to find goals and we're going to have to share the love. And then it's like, how do we structure up? How do we line up? It's hard, and the D's have been stodgy this year. So it's going to take this is going to have to be a game where Montana Ham's the best player in the field if we're going to win it. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, and I think she would also be feeling very happy with her game, but she knows that she can be better. And I think usually if you see a player like the Amadi game this year where he kicked 8 behinds, I'm going to compare that. At least Montana actually kicked a goal or two.
Yeah.
Very similar vibes to that. And I think she's going to just come out and kick it back, which she'll need to do because we won't have Chloe. It'll be very interesting to see how Melbourne structure up defensively because we have had Chloe all season. So most of the time, the best defender has gone to her or she's been double teamed. And so without her there, it'd be very interesting to see who they decide to go to. I'm thinking it's probably going to be Cynthia Hamilton, who we just spoke to. But I'm very keen to see what they do. Maybe they bring Beck back. I don't know. Someone's going to have to come in. So
Yeah, because it's probably going to be Gab Colvin or Sinead Goldrick, you'd think. So yeah, it's probably going to be on Cynthia. Yeah, because Holly Cooper's not tall, or maybe it's Lexi. Lexi might be one out in the forward line all day. That may be the go.
yeah, that I could see that, and I would not I don't think it would be a huge detriment to us if she's kind of taken out of the game a little bit,
Mm.
especially with her having 7 tackles on the weekend. I think she could, even if they do play a super defensive role against her, I don't think that would hamper her too much because I think she genuinely likes that type of contest and she wouldn't really care if she gets kind of taken out of the game a little bit.
Yeah.
But someone's gonna have to come in. What are you thinking?
Um, I don't I don't think it'll be Priv.
Yeah, I was just
Um,
going from a like she can take a defender perspective
yeah,
with Priv.
I don't think it'll be her. I'm just having a look.
Maybe Amelia Martin comes back. That's kind of the only
Yeah,
person that's kind of
yeah,
around.
it could be her or it could be SSP.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because you look. So obviously, she's named. Chloe's named on the half forward flank. Yeah, it's probably Amelia or SSP. It's got to be one of them, you would think.
You would think so. They just came out of the team, so it makes sense to
Yeah,
put them back in. They know the structure well enough that it's not a major thing to come back in. It's not like the only player we really haven't seen this year is Giselle Davies. And I don't think at this point in the season you bring a player back that hasn't played with this team at all, just for the like I think you pick someone who has played most games, and that's Amelia Martin.
yeah.
So I would probably see Amelia back would be my guess, but it'll be very interesting to see what they do. We'd probably see. I wonder if he maybe even. I mean, you wouldn't do it because you can't kick goal save a life right now, but maybe you throw loose forward for a bit just to cover off that Chloe role, and then you have Sarah Steele Park go back or something along
Nah,
those lines.
you don't make wholesale changes for one thing, especially with how Lucy is lined up, and you also need to think of how the D's line up as well.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you
yeah.
want
So
to,
do you want to talk about their injury list because it's an interesting one?
yeah, I've just lost it. Let
Oh,
me
sorry.
find it. That's all right. Taylor Harris was in hospital over the weekend after the game, so she's probably not
A
going to be. Here we go.
test.
Yeah, she's
I
going
was
to be a
gonna say
test.
I think the reason most of these are tests is because they probably didn't get back to Melbourne until very late and they haven't
Yeah, and
actually done proper scans.
you don't want to put a player in a concussion protocol, and they've got to play Brisbane next week as well.
Yeah,
Georgia Gall's out, which is yay for us.
yeah,
Uh, Sarah Lampard is a really good defensive player. She may come back. Uh, and then you have a look. So Shelley Heath is a test. Taylor's a test. Gall's out. Mackin's going to be out. And obviously Olivia Purcell's done for the season, which sucks because Olivia Purcell rules. So
yeah.
a lot of the responsibility is going to fall on Eden Zanker and Kate Hoare on the weekend to have big games. So it'll be very interesting to see. So they're banged up. They've got what,
Well,
2, 4, 6, 8, 9 on the list.
yeah. So that's a lot more than us. We've obviously only got Chloe and Soph, two massive players
Yeah.
to have off. Imogen Brown sustained another injury. I don't know if you saw that. Not that she was going to come back in, but she also is now on the injury list as well, which I thought was interesting. But that does lead into who my invitation to the party is.
Oh, here we go.
So I'm inviting Triple AM,
The radio station.
the Triple AM, the radio station,
Old reliable.
old reliable Alice Mitchell. She is going to keep Kate Hall quiet. That is my invitation to the
What happens if
party.
Kate Hall plays in the midfield? Then you're cooked.
Then I look, it is what it is. There's no one else. I just can't see that happening. Especially if Taylor Harris is out. If Taylor Harris is out, it's a different. Is in. It's a different story. But
Yeah, but they still need to get the ball out of the midfield.
yeah. So
Where did she line up on the weekend? Let me get the D's lineup from the weekend here just to see where they lined up. Kate Hall lined up as a rover because
okay,
they've also got Alyssa Bannon. So I reckon that Alice
okay.
Mitchell
She
will get
probably
the,
goes on Lewis Bannon
yeah,
then.
and
But
Alyssa Bannon, I'm waiting for her to explode as a footballer. I think she's got all the tools.
yeah, for sure. She is.
Very
Friend of the
tall.
podcast,
Mm.
Brody Kelly is favorite player. One of his favorite players. Is
Okay,
Lisa
that makes
Bannon.
sense. Yep, yeah,
Yeah,
no, that makes sense. If she attacked the ball with the ferocity of Cynthia Hamilton, she'd be a top 10 player in the comp.
yeah. So Alice, I just think that she's going to stay in this AA form. She's getting that jacket, and she's going
Yeah.
to keep someone on that team quiet. I would love it if Kate doesn't kick her 100th to get to us. That would be ideal.
Well, geez, if we're having someone kick 4 against her, we're in for a long bloody day. I'll put it that way.
I mean,
Uh,
Poppy. Oh, well, I guess not on. She wasn't on. Alice wasn't on her when Poppy kicked
no.
it, but
So I'm gonna put mine's gonna go to Ali Morfitt in the midfield, coming up against Lauren Pierce.
okay.
I think this is a big game for her. Pierce has been in pretty good form this year. I think I think we need a big game from her. She's a two-time All-Australian as well. She's a premiership player. This is if Ali also wants to have All-Australian sort of numbers and aspirations this year, she needs to dominate this game.
Yeah.
I think she's got her height wise. Let me think. Because she's 184, and I think Ali's up 187.
That
Ali is
sounds right.
188. So Ali's got a couple of centimeters on her. She's also 21. Pierce is 32. Run her ragged.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a very fair shout. Very good invitation. Alex, that ruck position in the AA is going to be very, very interesting. I think
I
Ali
haven't.
missing a game is going to potentially
Yeah.
be her downfall, but no one's really had
Mia King's injured again.
a consistently good ruck season, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like Matilda Schultz, she's had a couple good games,
Nah.
not
No
much.
shit. No.
Mimi Hill? Has she? No.
Nah,
Oh,
she's
sorry. I'm talking about Mim Strom. I'm talking about Mim
Yeah.
Strom.
Nah. Mimstrom.
Hasn't really had,
Nah. She
she's
was.
been at her best. So it'll be very interesting to see where that goes, and it honestly could come down to these last three games. So
Yeah.
Ali,
probably.
if you want to be 5 a.m.
I'm trying to
because
find
she's
last
already
year's
been an
team.
Australian once.
Yeah.
You're gonna stay in this form because she's had very good games, but then had some not as good games. So
So
it's gonna be
squad
interesting.
last year. I'm trying to think who's the ruck. So Matilda Schultz was
Was
named
the
last
ruck
year in the
last year?
squad.
Yeah.
Um, not Lucy Wales. Oh no, was it Lucy Wales? I think she's a ruck. As well, and then you
But
had
she's
obviously.
injured now as
Yeah,
well.
no, I'm just looking
So
at last year's and Mim
yeah.
Strom, and then the team was Mim Strom. Chelsea Randall doesn't count; she's too tall. Yeah, no, it was Mim last year. At the moment, I reckon she's leading the way. So that'll be interesting to see. But
Mm.
Swanee's by how far, Pole?
I'm going with 11 this week.
Okay,
I
legs
think it'll
11.
be close, but not uncomfortably close, is where I'm going for. What about you?
4. 4
Keep
points.
going these really close margins. It hasn't happened yet, but look, God, it stresses me out every time you
Hey,
say
I'm
it.
going to be at Cranbourne. If I'm going through my mechanism time and I'm self-torturing, I've got to do it to myself all the way, and then I'll drive home in silence.
Fair enough.
And if you understand me and you know how big Saturday is in my life,
No, I know.
then I'm going to the dub and
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah,
to
yeah.
drive home in silence if we lose.
Yeah,
That's some self-torture right there, punters.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. But there are some other games happening this weekend, so we
Yeah,
should do some tipping.
I need to find the tipping here. Competitions, AFLW. Here
I've
we
dropped a
go.
place.
I had a big week last week. I had a
I
big
didn't.
week. I got 8.
I got 7.
Yeah, we have a three-way tie still on the top.
Oof.
Big Phil Anton tipped 8 to get onto 60. Greg on the Goldie, Britty 93, all on 60 points. GT at Henson 8. Madriz has dropped a point down to 58. Madison Clark forgot clearly because he got 3. He's back to equal last. Polly Porridge is now down to 15th, and I've bumped up a few places, and I am coming. I reckon I can get into the top 7 by the end of the year with 3 rounds to go. So I'm going to
Look,
start tipping.
it's all very close because it's a short season, so
Yeah.
anything could happen.
So I'm going to start tipping a little bit Larry because that's how
Look, I
I
tried
roll.
last week and it didn't work for me. I tipped Essendon, so
Oh no, yuck.
yeah.
All right, we'll start at Friday, 7:15 at Alberton Oval. Port Adelaide take on Hawthorn. Fuck
This
it,
is
I'm tipping Port.
Yeah, so am I. This is a bit of a rivalry game as well. Like,
Oh
not
yeah,
just
after
from the
last year.
men's, but yeah, the
Yeah.
women's too. And they both
Oh,
came
that's
into the
right.
competition at the same time.
Yeah,
All
the
the games have
semi-final
been
last
very
year.
close. So I think it's gonna be Port.
Hawthorn beat Gold Coast last week. They kicked 8 goals. Well done for Hawthorn. Finally kicking a score, but it was still against Gold Coast. Port Adelaide lost to Brisbane, so whatever. Leaderville Oval. That's in WA. 9:15 p.m. So double dub on Friday
Ooh,
night.
Friday. Okay.
The West Coast Eagles take on the Cats. I'm going the Cats.
It's tough because I think they both need to win. I think the Cats need to win more. So we'll go with the Cats.
Swannies win at 105. 3:05 p.m. at Arden Street. North Melbourne take on Adelaide. If I wasn't at Cranbourne, I would go and watch this.
Yeah.
North.
Yes, obviously.
22 points. I reckon it'll be tight.
No, tight for North.
Yeah, for North, it's tight.
Yeah.
I think if they win this game, they are the greatest, most the greatest winning professional team in like sporting history in Australia or some bullshit, like
Yeah,
for
it's close to
consecutive
that.
wins.
Yeah.
But they're going to run down Winks next season. That's how good they're going.
Yep.
Henson Park, Freo take on the Giants. Freo.
Rio. Also, they're sending Rosie O'Donnell to this game. Of all the games you could have sent Rosie O'Donnell to, that's the
Yeah, but
game you chose.
doesn't she have a set in Sydney that night or something?
Yeah, but
If she's in Sydney, it makes sense. There's
Is
going to
it
be 7
just-
people there. It's fine.
yeah, I know. I'm like, yeah, this is a really great show. Rosie O'Donnell, what AFLW is like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
7:15 Icon Park, Carlton and St Kilda. I may go via this on the way home.
I'm gonna go St Kilda.
I'm gonna go Carlton. I still
What's
can't
better for us?
ladder. I think it doesn't matter, to be
It's
honest.
the same. Yeah.
Yeah, they're both on 24 points. Their percentages is 107.3 and 105.9. So
A draw would be nice. Guys, Jess Webster can finally get a draw.
no. That's Jess Robinson.
Sorry, Jess Webster.
One of them losing's better because a draw gives them both 2 points.
Yeah,
so
okay.
we need someone to lose. So yeah,
Right.
maybe
Okay, I'm still gonna go Saints.
Carlton winning like 32-4 would be fine because it wouldn't
Okay.
smash their percentage up, but it'd kill West Coast. Brisbane beat
Saints.
it. Sunday 105 at Windy Hill. Brisbane beat Essendon.
Yeah.
Oh, Spoon Bowl.
Big ball. Well, not really because
Yeah.
it's-
Collingwood take on Richmond at Victoria Park in a
Richmond.
Spoon Bowl.
Richmond. Richmond
Oh
looks
yeah, we watched the Pies on the weekend. Yeah,
Yeah, they
could
were
be-
bad.
Yeah, they were fucking terrible. They had like 35 inside 50s
Oh,
to
it was
17
so
and kicked
hard
one
to
goal.
watch.
Yeah, I'm
It took
tipping
so
Richmond.
long, Faithful, trying to get this game on TV, and it was utterly disappointing.
I caught an early flight home. It was that bad. And finally, at the Great Barrier Reef Arena in Mackay.
Hi. Shame neither of the Mackay sisters are in this game. That would have been fun.
Yeah, Mackay off. This game last year did involve Carlton, by the way.
They did. Yes.
Gold Coast will get beaten by the Western Bulldogs.
Yes, Western Bulldogs have actually turned it around quite significantly.
The Dogs are building something in Melbourne with their crowds, by the way.
Yeah. They're the closest thing to us. I was going to bring this up when you were talking about crowds before, and it slipped my mind. Sarah Black actually made a very good point. So North have now gone we need to promote the game to get more people to the games for the metrics, and we were the first ones to do that. And Sarah Black was like, yeah, the Swans already have done this, but it's a good way to go down about it. And I think us, the Dogs, and I don't know about Essendon this year, but Essendon traditionally have been pretty good about getting people at Windy Hill. They're the best by far. No one's even, if you look at I don't know if you saw, Sean, who is HPN on Twitter, posted the most recent list.
Yeah, I
of
saw
the
that.
best, attendance. We are like 5 of the top 10 or something stupid like that. But the Dogs are the next closest, and the other games are the like marquee games. So yes, they are. They are building something good, and I really like Whitten Oval. I know it's not that easy to get to, but I've been there twice now, and I really like both times I was there. So actually
have
3
great
times.
hot
I've been
chips.
there 3 times now. So it's a
And
good oval, and it's near the station, and I don't like the Dogs, but I'm happy for them.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's if they can keep building, it's all good because more people going to the games means we get more games, which is
Exactly
great.
right. Exactly
Yeah.
right. But that pretty much wraps us up. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the second half of the Pride rounds. Look, in a normal circumstances, I would not say go to Cranbourne, but if you can,
Come
go
hang.
to Cranbourne,
Some-
go see Alex.
Slide into my DMs if you're going so I
Yeah.
can sit with someone. I don't want to go sit
Yeah.
in the media center because
It's not the
don't
same.
want
It's not the same vibe.
Yeah,
So,
I actually I'm enjoying not having to work at these games this year, so
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to going and
As
trying
a-
to be a bit of a full
nuffy.
nuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I don't have to work, I won't. But if no one's going to come hang, so I'm looking at you, Cremator. Hit me up. Maybe
Yes.
Zan Red and White. Get on the ferry. Come across. Yeah, come hang. It'll be a good
it's
time.
going to be a very good time. I'll be obviously
too, Nicola.
watching on TV, playing spotter Alex. But yeah, get out there. The second week of Pride round. I don't know if people saw this when I said on Twitter, but I think something that often gets overlooked when it comes to the women's Pride rounds. It's not just giving a safe space to queer people. Queer women have done so much for this sporting landscape across the world. We would not have the majority of the sporting leagues we have for women now without queer women. They are the ones that kept passionate and kept the space alive. So we owe them so much. So if you can appreciate them at any point during Pride Round, it makes such a difference. But yeah, this has been True Bloods, the number one independent Sydney Swans fan podcast. We're number one on the hearts. We're number one on the charts. We're speaking words of wisdom up the potty.
Potty.